I choose growth. On February 7th, Venus comes into a trine with innovative Uranus. And on the same day, we have a configuration with Venus in a square to the lunar nodes of destiny. So, what does this all mean for our relationships? Is the main thing that we all want to know. Well, first of all, if you remember from my Venus and Capricorn video, we talked about how Venus and Capricorn is very much concerned with like less is more and being present with the relationships which have proven to be the most worthwhile for us. And we're thinking about the future, we're planning for the future, and we know that where our energy goes is where energy flows, or something like that. So here we've got Venus in a trine with Uranus, which is groundbreaking, innovative. It can be offering us significant breakthroughs, some realizations, but it's a trine, so it's supportive electricity. It's helping us elevate, it's helping us grow, it's helping us get to the next level. So when I talked about planning for the future and maybe even trying things that will help get us where we want to be in that vision of the future, this is the transit that is going to help catapult us. Or maybe that's a dramatic word, but give us some gas, push us along, help us take action towards that dream potentially. Okay. So this is going to be supportive breakthroughs in relationships. This is also a chance to mix things up. In general, Venus in a trine to Uranus wants to have some fun, wants to break the routine, wants to break out of the normal and do something a little different, put a spin on the regular activities. So now we've also got Venus in a square with the nodes of destiny. So this offers us a choice in relationships. We are at the south bend of the nodes, so we may be more aware of some of our negative, or maybe negative isn't the best phrase, but the patterns which get in our way, the patterns which aren't serving the growth of our relationships in the highest. We're becoming more aware of those, and we're kind of at the lowest point before Venus starts to climb again in declination. So yeah, we're at the south bend of the nodes, and yeah, so it is time. It is time to start rising, okay? So we've got some choices to make in the way in which we relate. We have choices to make in our relationships. Remember, Venus is in Capricorn, so maybe that Uranus revelation is I've been projecting my ideal of what I was hoping to get out of this relationship, but I see that it's not being reciprocated. So I'm going to make some choices here. Or it's a choice to lean in. Maybe that's the other thing, is I'm not getting what I need to get out of this relationship because I am lacking. Maybe there's something on my end that I could be doing differently in order to better show up more strongly, more aligned in this relationship. Maybe there's some work I can do. Remember, we've got all this Pluto stuff going on, which is helping us reveal our undercurrents, and it's a great time for shadow work. So this one is another one of those transits that really supports that, because the name of the game is growth in the relationships right now. We're thinking about growth. So what needs to be let go of in order for that growth to take place? So think about that as we're moving into this weekend. We've got a full moon coming up. And right now, also, the sun is in a sextile with the nodes, the north node, and in a square with Uranus. So this is a big breaking free energy. And it doesn't necessarily mean departure. This is happening in a fixed sign, the sun and Uranus square. So there's an attempt to work it out, okay? A way to have that freedom without sabotaging the whole thing. The other layer to add here is that, when we're looking at the nodes and what the nodes are inviting in, the North Node is in Aries, which is calling in honesty, transparency, and the ability to be direct in the way that one feels and the way in which one thinks. And how conflict can actually be a healthy thing in relationships. Not so much conflict, but more so like confrontation, to confront something that maybe didn't sit so well with us. So the North Node in Aries is helping us rethink what that Libra South Node idea of peace looks like in relationships, because very often, sometimes we are keeping the peace by not speaking our truth, and that is not going to sit very well inside of us. And that can, of course, breed things like resentment and things like that. So, we're having an opportunity here to, as we make choices in relationship, also reconcile these choices in the backdrop of these North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra framework. So yeah, I mean, it's also a matter of the Libra South Node isn't just getting rid of that stuff. It's inviting us to balance. So for some of us, it's choosing to not pick fights and to not look for things. Some of it may be to learn how to let things go and to not always bring your concerns and things like that to the surface. I think the topic of emotional maturity is really important there, of knowing when it's okay to voice your concerns and when it's okay to just let things be, like to not always make an issue out of something that doesn't need to be an issue or wasn't necessarily going to be an issue in the first place. So those are just some inspirations to take with you as you think about how the square is showing up for you this week. So that's going to show up more and in different ways around the full moon. We'll talk about that in our next video. But for right now, just know that we're all tapping into this around this full moon. It's bringing things to light for us. And that was your astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye! Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also study astrology with me. The Foundations of Astrology course is an 11-week mentorship. It begins on January 25th. You can visit my website for more details, where you can also book your year ahead astrology reading with me, where we'll get into your personal natal chart, transits, progressions, profections, and the solar return. I look forward to connecting with you. Till next time. Bye.